Welcome back to the Crazy Craft SMP. In today's video I reckon I'm going to be focusing more on the terraforming side of the whole build. Because the theme I'm going to go for I think is like an old like 80s sort of like American Midwest or like Alaska, like big trees, bridges, curving roads, quite foggy. So the first thing I'm thinking I'm going to do is probably the cliffs. Because these are kind of ugly with just all the dirt, so I had some deep slate, make it look dark and maybe some tough. And then I'll probably set out like maybe on this side, a road that goes round, and probably work on a few trees. First of all, though, I'm going to grab some acacia log, because acacia log actually works really well for like terraforming. You just use it at the bottom and gradually build your way up with like tuff and stone into like andesite, light grey wall sort of gradient. It looks really nice. I think this wood might do quite well for the trees. Because I just went over here to get some moss, but now I'm looking at them, they're quite... What the hell is that? That's a dragon? Stay away from that. It's be a really cool biome to build like a dinosaur park in or something. Now I've got the nature's compass, I should just be able to type in Badlands. It should tell me where the nearest one is so I can go get some terracotta. So I made it to Badlands. It's not exactly as big as I was hoping it to be, but this yellow terracotta here is all I really need, and there seems to be quite a lot of it. I'm going to get mining. Oh, pickaxe broke. So I'm going to start heading back and then pre-design the road. For the basic road design, I'm going to go something like this, with some black sandstone, yellow terracotta, and maybe mix in some just normal black sand to give it a bit of roughness. See how it looks. So when I build roads as well, you kind of want to keep the lane the same length. So 3 usually what I go for, so altogether it's 7, including the thing in the middle. So if you're building a 1 lane, you want it to be about 3 or maybe 4 at a push. If you're building a highway, just however many lanes you have, add them on. I'm going to make the part where it turns into the actual car park more kind of black sand, so it's obviously been more worn down, because it's been driven over more. I think that'll look quite nice. I think I might have it kind of curve back round this hillside, so I can build it up a bit on this side, and then have like a little drop bit here, like a ditch. So I got the basic road shape kind of laid out, and I'm liking how it looks. I like how it curves down, goes around the hill. I need to extend it out here this way, and build like more of a town area kind of thing over there. Like for now, this is just the radio point on top of the hill. So I think it's going to be looking quite nice when it's done. What I've got to do now is add some rocks and terraforming over here, some trees up here on the side, and then probably some guardrails as well, just along the road. And then should be done. I think this is a sort of block pattern I'm going to use for the terraforming. So at the top I'm going to have moss into andesite, then into cobblestone, into tuff, and into acacia logs. It's a nice dark gradient. Start off by like layering a bit of moss to get like a ground level, and then I'll build up the cliffs to reach that point. Now I've got a pretty nice foundation of moss at the top. I'm going to start making the cliffs move up here. So usually I'm going to start just with andesite, go top down. Some parts I want to make like stick out maybe. Now I'll add some hanging roots. So I want to drop down a little bit so it blends together. Then switch to the next block, which will be cobblestone. Kind of just fill in the gaps. And these little bits here, I might chuck a bit of packed mud. For now I'll probably use dirt as a placeholder, just to see what it looks like. On these little corner bits where it would be dark, I'm going to chuck a couple of acacia logs just to give it more like shading. Also going to layer moss here and then do another drop of a cliff down there. when I'm placing this, I'm going to need to leave enough space to put like quite a big tree on it, I reckon. So it's going to have to come out quite a bit. Instead of using andesite at the top part, now I'm going to use cobblestone, so when it goes down, the last gradient will definitely be acacia, which makes it darker than the top part. I think with the rain, this looks really good as well. Matches it perfectly. The plan is to have this whole cliffside going along here, a mountain, and I'm going to make all the top of this moss, fill up all of this, and build a massive like sort of spruce redwood forest area. What I've been doing here is where you little gaps, I just fill in with moss. I think it adds quite a nice little touch. That's pretty much the whole shape of the cliff done. I'm going to leave this section till later on, but just got to add some more details to this side, then do this side. Right, so both the cliffs are pretty much done. Might need to detail them a little bit more, some buttons maybe, a couple of slabs and stairs. Now I've got to do the trees on top as well. Currently, I think they look quite nice, just shading on them, where it gets darker at the bottom, lighter at the top. I'm going to leave this part open for now because I've got some plans for that area over there. It's quite a big project. And I think I'm going to do a forest on top of this part, just going to fill it in all with moss, cover up this whole hole. For the block palette of the trees, I'm thinking of going with some redwood wood, granite wall, acacia fence, acacia slabs to the branches, and some redwood leaves. It's like a nice orangey colour, goes up to the top. Maybe I'll add some more like spruce or oak leaves just to get some variety in the leaves. That looks quite nice when you do that. But there can be a lot taller than that. The way I like to do the branches is so at the top where it connects to a wall, I'll use fences. And then when it goes down to here, you start going into slabs and walls. And then for each layer it goes down, you extend it by 1 block. So if up here it's 2, down here it'll be 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. Probably end about 6, unless you want it to go lower. It's usually good to end it about 25% of the tree up, just so it looks nicer. I think that's a pretty good shape for the tree so far. I'm gonna go grab some spruce leaves as well, just to mix in with the redwood, so it gives it more like lighting on like the sides when you put them. You also need to get a bit of like orange glass to extend this out a bit. Then that should be the end of it. I couldn't find these spruce leaves, but these are fir leaves here. I think they might work better, to be fair. Like a nice dark sort of greeny, sort of bluish texture to them. I like the texture on them as well. The pattern looks really nice. So I think I'm gonna grab some of these. When you're placing leaves on evergreen trees, they usually go along all of the branch instead of like deciduous trees. A lot of the time there'll be leaves on at the end of the branches. With these tops of the trees, if you place a block like that, it can look kind of weird and blocky. So instead, what I like to use is a moss carpet or just green carpet, so it can make it a lot more flat, so it doesn't stick out as much. The top of these trees, what I like to do is just use a few panes as well, and then add like a few leaves in. So it just looks like it's like a branch, like a thin branch going through it. Now I think that is finished. So on that note, I think I'm going to leave the video there. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and see it.